For those of us, you joining us on YouTube, Shabbat Shalom. Our services will begin at 8 p.m.
to make a bright tomorrow, and their visions remain in our heart. Now the torch must be passed with hope and not in sorrow, and a promise to make a new start. You will see, oh how good it will be. Ashana, Ashana, you will see how good it will be. Ashana, Ashana, בעת השון והעירה, ועם רוחי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא. ועם רוחי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא.
My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand.
Shabbat Shalom, Cantor Weishar. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Shabbat Shalom. How are you, Rabbi Joseph?
I am good. It was lovely to hear you and also the Kol Nefesh kids singing. What a lovely way to begin Shabbat with melodies with our youngest people in our community, in our not our community, but the community that we nurture, and they nurture us. And just also lovely to hear some music put together by you for the high holidays, but we could use it anytime, and so it's a nice way to begin Shabbat. Been quite a week, right?
It has been quite a week. We could use a little Shabbat, I think. I think that would
I
be
think we
wonderful.
could as well. Let's begin our service with the opening song that always brings us together because it's familiarity and because of its meaning.
I hope you're singing at home. Ine ma tov u'ma nai הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
It's one of those weeks where not everything goes right. I was just reminded by Jerry Epstein that the date on this video is wrong. I put 10/6 instead of 11/6, but indeed it is November 6th. It's 3 days past November 3rd. Can't fix it now. That's what just goes up onto YouTube. We'll fix it later after Shabbat. But I want to thank Jerry for that reminder. Nothing is perfect in life, and a little mistake just makes us giggle. I don't know about you, but I need my spirit refreshed somewhat. Yerid nefesh.
Yes. Yedid nefesh avarachaman. Yedid nefesh avarachaman. Meshochav
We continue with the lighting of the Shabbat lights.
Shabbat creeps up on my week with the tenacity of a zealous bride. Dusk falls into the candlelight as a divine flickering shadow play along the chambers of my mind. The world around me quietens with a sudden intake of breath, and when the doors of my heart open, she glads me with her insistence. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlet ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who house us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher Kirshanu b'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat.
A prayer to introduce the Lecha Dodi that was actually written this morning by Rabbi Elka Abramson and Rabbi Larry Hoffman. Holy One of Blessing, Lecha Dodi, come, my beloved. Set up residence with me and those I love. Excuse me. As Shabbat gently falls, make manifest our many blessings. Holy One of Healing, reduce the noise, the endless, anxious chatter that chips away relentlessly at peace of mind. God, quiet the soul. Holy One of Love, embrace me, hold me, comfort me. Steady my pulse, let my heart beat with the cadence of compassion and understanding. Shine your presence through the fog of my uncertainties that I may know gratitude. Holy One of Wisdom, who shines light when there is darkness, lending clarity to mystery when I get lost in the moment, wrap me in eternity, that I may see myself as you see me, a singular and vital part of your divine plan. For tikkun, repair, for bracha, blessing, for ahava, love. Help me disperse your divine light.
Amen.
We continue with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela 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 Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad Ishmi'anu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'litilah Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Likrat Shabbat lehu v'nacha Ki mikor habracha Erosh mekedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshava kila Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Bohi v'shalom ateret bala Gam b'simcha u'v'tzola Toch emunei am segula Bohi chala, bohi chala Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Yitgadal v'yikadash shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yamad divrach yirotei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho bet Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv v'meru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam u'lo me'amaya, yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal, shmei d'kudashah,
Rechu.
Leila min kol bechata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, damiran b'yalma, v'meru. Amen.
Please rise physically or just rise in your heart as we sing the Baruch Hu, the invitation to prayer.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach leolam vaed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
If you have stood up, we invite you to be seated.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam lehot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beinenecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, Vitem kedoshim le'olechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, li'od lachem le'elehim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, and that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef ele, nora tehilot osef ele. Malechutecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Zeli anu ve'amru Adonai imloch, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed.
It felt like a week where we need God's protection, right?
I was just going to say, some of us have had trouble sleeping this week, so perhaps a little lullaby, a little of God's protection would be just right now. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkivainu, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivainu, Leshalom. V'hamidenu, Shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha. Ashkivainu, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivainu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Let's rise in our heart or sit a little straighter as we enter the tefillah, the central prayer. The words that open this prayer have us traditionally moving forward 3 steps to be close to God, and then stepping back 3 steps to admire God's infinitude. Please feel free to rise if that is your will, or just rise in your heart.
Adonai sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasodim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Gila Livnei V'Necham, Leman Shemo Be'ahava. Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach, Marid hagashem. Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofech oholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha bal gevurot, umidom elach, melech memid umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai, mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Kroshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Cantor. It's been a week where sometimes my blessings have seemed uncertain, but I have been given strength by the things that have felt like blessings, like being with my husband and playing with my dog. I am so thankful for their company during this time and thankful. Oh my gosh, the day today was so beautiful outside. What have you been thankful for this week?
I have definitely been thankful for time with my dog, who reminds me to play ball in the yard when I think I should go on another Zoom call or read another book. I'm thankful for all of those people who are working on television and telling us that there's nothing they can tell us yet, and yet they keep doing it. And now that you and I seem to work on what feels like television, I have incredible empathy for all of them and all the work they're doing. And I am grateful for all the people who participated in our country's process this week in all the different ways. And I'm thankful for the fact that I can watch it all from home and be safe at home. Very grateful.
So many things to be thankful for. I loved your list. And if there's things that you are thankful for at home, we invite you to share that out loud at this time.
Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach. We thank you, God, for all these
It's time to pray for shalom, for wholeness. I don't know about you, but I need some wholeness.
Definitely. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Let us take some time to pray silently.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, Amen.
We continue with a song to introduce the reading of Torah, Ki Metzion Tetzei Torah.
I did I, oh, I did I. I did I, oh, I did I. Ki Metzion Tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai Mirushalayim. Ki Metzion Tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai Mirushalayim. I did I, oh, I did I. I did I, oh, I did I. I did I, oh, I did I. I did I, oh, I did I.
Cantor, I'm going to ask you, as I actually change camera, to lead the congregation in the blessing for studying Torah.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Blessed are you, eternal our God, sovereign of the universe, who commands us to study the words of Torah. The words we will be reading from Vayera, Genesis chapter 18. Vayera alav Adonai be'onei mamra, v'hu yeshev petach ha'ohel kachom hayom. And God was so, and God, and it was that God saw him at the terebinths of Mamre, him being Abraham, and he sat there at the edge of his tent in the heat of the day. V'yasanav v'ya v'hine shlosha anashim nitzavim alav, and he lifted up his eyes, and there he saw three men standing near him. V'ya v'yaratz likatam, and he got up eagerly and ran to greet them. Mipetach ha'ohel v'yishtaravu atza, from the gate of his tent, and he bowed towards the land. V'yomer Adoni, im na matzati chen be'enecha, al na ta'avor me'al avdecha. And he says, if I find favor in your eyes, please don't pass by your servant. Yikach na me'at mayim v'rachzu raglehem. Take a little water and let me wash your feet. V'hisi'anu tachat ha'etz, and rest yourselves under the tree. V'checha pat lechem v'sa'adu levachem, and eat a little bit of bread and refresh yourselves. Achat avru ki al ken avatim el avdechem, rather than just pass before your servant. V'yomru chen ta'aseh kasher dibata. And they said, we'll do as you have said. V'yemeher Avraham ha'ohala el Sarah v'yomer, maharei shalosh se'im kemach sulat. Prepare 3 loaves of bread, lushi v'asi agot, and make them into loaves. And we continue with the Torah out, thinking about those in our community who are ill. And we hold this moment, this Sinai moment of studying Torah, as a time when we hope that our prayers will be heard. If you have a name of somebody who is ill, I invite you to utter it before the Torah itself. Baruch atah Adonai, blessed are you, God, Orfeh HaCholim, the source of healing. A song as we conclude the Torah part of our service.
Eitz chaim hi l'machazikim ba v'tom עמך מאושר דרכיה דרכנו וכל נתיבותיך שלום. השיבנו אדוני עליך ונשובה, חדש ימינו כקדם.
Ah, my friends, I think many of you are probably of the age where you lived through the 1960s, and many of you might remember the psychologist Timothy Leary. If you do, you remember his experimentation with LSD as a way of promoting social interaction and raising consciousness, and how the government decided to halt such shenanigans by arresting him on drug charges. And how did Timothy Leary respond? Well, in 1969, he ran for governor of California against Ronald Reagan. And Leary, as he entered politics, decided he needed a catchy song to enhance his political slogan. Come together, join the party. A not so obtuse reference to the drug culture he supported. And in an effort to further promote himself, he asked a popular artist, John Lennon, to write a song for his campaign. But once written, the song did not feel like a classic campaign song, either to Lennon or Leary, and it wasn't used. And that's how John Lennon brought a song to the Beatles' Abbey Road sessions. He added some gobbledygook lyrics, and with Paul McCartney's suggestion, a swampy vibe beat. And thus the song Come Together became the opening song on the Beatles' new album. Being a nonsense song, the lyrics strain for narrative. And it strikes me that nonsense words with the echoes of a refrain come together right now and come together over me, while inept as an anthem for Leary's campaign, are an apt anthem for this political moment, filled with angst, confusion, and lack of clarity. If this election revealed anything, we live in an American milieu filled with multiple cultures, each with a narrative intellectually and emotionally nonsensical to the other side. And as a country, we are in aching need to find something around which we can come together. Not unusually, in my opinion, our Torah text speaks to our need at this moment. That's the way it is with holy books. Our Torah opens with Abraham welcoming strangers into his tent, people he does not know, nomads who are other, and nurturing them, unquestioning in his kindness. In the narrative that follows, we see Abraham willing to bargain with God over Sodom and Gomorrah. He barters, God, would you destroy the whole of these towns that act in a way that is an anathema to me and to you? Would you really destroy the other side if you could find 50 or 45 or 30 or 20 or 10 righteous among them? Abraham is willing to argue for virtue on a side he elementally disagrees with. Now, of course, we don't view Abraham as an unflawed individual. Also, in this Torah portion, he risks his wife's life by allowing Avimelech to think that she is his sister, and thus puts their lives in danger. He exiles his concubine Hagar and his son Ishmael, and almost sacrifices his son Isaac on Moriah. Our tradition teaches that even those that we wish had heroic tendencies are flawed. No leader is faultless. But a good leader, human and flawed as they all are, will see through the gibberish and confusion and gobbledygook of life and try to look for a way for people to come together, to welcome all into their tent, to at least try to see the goodness even in people who might sit on the other side of the political divide. And a good leader will find a cause that unites the ununited. One of our opening melodies this evening was the beautiful Lecha Dodi, a melody to greet the Shabbat bride. It's a gorgeous song of cosmic significance, uniting into commonality diverse elements. The first verse reads, Shamor v'zachor bedibur echad. Keep and remember were uttered with one breath. The concept of keeping represents the physical. Keeping or doing is in the world of the tangible, the realm of doing, the confines of reason, where logic and effort resides. The concept of remembering is in the world of intangible memory, the realm of emotion, where the gut reaction reigns. Both of them are two different sides of a coin, both legitimate ways of being and seeing in this world. Both are real, but represent different points of view. And in our song, they are said together. Why? For one purpose, to greet the Shabbat bride. A common purpose, a goal of unification. As the rabbis of old would say, what might this be likened to? Here is a parable. Imagine a village ripped in two by political strife and cultural divide. The sides cannot agree. One party points to the logic of their arguments, to reason, to proofs, to the intellect. And the other side reacts emotionally, how their sentiments affect them, those around them, and how others make them feel. Both live in the same village in different realities. And in that village, two young people meet. One comes from a family governed by intellect, and one comes from a family immersed by emotion. The young people fall in love. Their families as removed from being friends with each other as the Capulets were to the Montagues. God forbid they should come together over anything. And right up to the moment of that wedding, each family is separated by their attitudes, their beliefs, their actions. Swirling around the upcoming nuptials is dissent and the swampiness of division. Even so, the wedding invitations are issued and the fate of that couple destined to be sealed. Grudgingly, the family and friends of the family, each from different sides, intellect, emotion, turn up for the couple's wedding day. The air of the sanctuary is cold with political discontent, even just before that wedding is to take place. And then the music begins. The groom standing, awaiting, hoping for his beloved. The beautiful bride appears at the doorway, and everyone's focus and attention, whether they are intellectual, whether they are emotional, whether they are on this side or whether they are on that side, everyone's focus turns towards this moment, turns towards love. It turns to the one thing that unites them, the couple who comes together. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Come, my beloved, let us greet the bride. Friends, let me suggest in this divided world of ours, of red states and blue states and purple states, the question we face as a nation right now is not who won the election. The question we face as a nation right now is not the hurts felt, though those are real. The question we face as a nation right now is not trying to comprehend the logic of the other side. The question we face is, what will bring us together? What cause will make us reach out, uniting hands, one nation under God, for a common purpose? I'm reminded of two quotations I bookmarked this week. The first, I confess, has a lost source. In my eagerness to bookmark it, I forgot to write down who said it. But it still speaks to me, so I'm going to share it. I think it was written by another minister. It reads, "Just remember this. Donald Trump did not attend your wedding. Joe Biden did not celebrate the birth of your child. Mike Pence did not congratulate you on your new job. Kamala Harris did not check in on you during lockdown to see if you were okay. And not a single politician will send you condolences when your parents pass away. These people are not your savers or superheroes. They aren't your ride or die friends or your actual family members. Be careful you do not sever the very relationships you will need as we head into the great unknown of our strange future." This quote reminds us that what brings us together on an individual level is our relationships with others, even those who think differently to us, but are part of the social fabric of our lives. The second quote that I bookmarked is from Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president. You all know that Lincoln led during the division of the American Civil War, considered by many as this country's greatest crisis. Yet he found ways to unite the states together. Lincoln wrote, "We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic cords of memory stretching from every battlefield and patriot grave to every living heart and hearthstone all over this broad land will yet swell the chorus of the Union when again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature." Lincoln governed in a land divided, but history suggests that he succeeded in preserving the Union, abolishing slavery, bolstering the federal government, and modernizing the US economy, because he focused on our relationships with one another. Whoever is our leadership going forth in the House, Senate, and presidency, needs to figure out what will strengthen our relationships and set it as our national goal. It is only in unified purpose that the narrow bridge of divide will be crossed in safety. And what does Judaism have to teach us about crossing that bridge and unity of purpose? Also, that relationship is paramount. I offer to you a post-election prayer by my teacher, Rabbi Andrea Weiss. And it is with this that I will conclude my remarks. No matter what happens, this we know. We must recalibrate our national compass and reconfirm what matters most. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. How do we get from here to there? The Torah guides our way. It's not enough to love your neighbor as yourself. You must love the stranger as yourself. The prophets tell us what to do. Let justice roll like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. And the Psalms remind us, the night may be dark, but morning always comes. May we each do our part to bring about the dawning of a new day. My friends, it's time to find ways as a nation to come together right now. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
We continue our service with the chanting of Aleinu. If you are so moved, we invite you to rise.
Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
If you have risen, please be seated.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו
You are remembered in love. You're part of the now and me. All the good, all the love, all the comfort a person can give is remembered and repeated for your sake. Time changes. Everything passes but love. Peace abide you. On this Shabbat, we remember the Yortzites, remember the love for the following names: Edith Bierman, Jerry Bernstein, Jacob Beagle, Samuel Brown, Harriet Chait, Selma Clayman, Samuel Cohen, Ruth Einziger, Sylvia Fass, Herman Fasto, Eugene Feinstein, Leslie Feldman, Phyllis Ferris, Milton Gensler, Rebecca Gensler, Ida Ginsberg, Morris Goldberg, Joseph Haber, Julius Halpin, Esther Hirsch, Harry Kramer, Aaron Lapin, Johanna Lerner, Louis Lerner, Cecilia Margulies, Joseph Pactivus, Alfred Pfingst, Frieda Pfingst, Eleanor Paris, Stephen Paris, Maya Reisner, Jordan Robbins, Martha G. Rosenberger, Dorothy Scher, Francis Schlissel, Bennett Selikoff, Albert Steinhaus, Rachel Stern, Meki Taub, Roslyn Berman. If it is your custom and you are able, we invite you to rise for the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bi'alma divrach hirotei, bi'amlich machutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam al mei almaya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ah v'tromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitada v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekodesha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol b'yachata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata da'miran be'alma v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace grant peace to all who mourn and comfort the bereaved among us. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
I invite our president, Rich Madonna, to turn on his camera and share with us some announcements of what is occurring in our congregation in this week and in following weeks.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you, Rabbi, and thank you, Cantor, for a lovely service once again and a very interesting and meaningful sermon. Thank you so much. I'd like to start out by first saying that we've had this ongoing food drive that was sponsored by the OMI clergy to buy needy families Thanksgiving dinners. To date, we've raised enough money to provide 31 dinners to the needy in our community. So thank you very much for participating in lieu of our Pack the Pickup Hanukkah food drive. I think this is a really terrific thing that we're able to do for those of us who are in need at this time of year. So thank you all. So coming up, we have a sisterhood program on Tuesday on the 10th. And that evening, there's also a community policing virtual policy town hall that we've advertised. So some of us will be at the board meeting and won't be able to attend, but if you're able to attend and interested in community policing matters, please tune in. There's also another sisterhood book club on Wednesday afternoon. Also, there'll be a joint sisterhood men's club program on Sunday the 15th. So for those of you who are interested in participating in that, it's about green Howard County. So that might be of interest to some of us who are interested in the environment and green living. And finally, our next Shabbat will be on the 20th. And that will be the new member Shabbat, where we welcome those who have joined us over the past year. And thank you and welcome. We hope you're finding our virtual community warm and welcoming. And I assure you, when we get to meet in person, we'll be even more warm and welcoming. So again, Shabbat Shalom, and thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much. Cantor. Our final song really talks to this concept of coming together at this moment. The whole world feels, right, like we're on a very narrow bridge, but we're eventually going to get there. The secret's not to be afraid.
Exactly. I hope you're singing at home. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar mehod, gesher tsar mehod, gesher tsar mehod. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar mehod, gesher tsar mehod. V'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar lo lefachad, lo lefachad klal. V'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar lo lefachad klal. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar mehod, gesher tsar mehod, gesher tsar mehod. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar mehod, gesher tsar mehod. I know you're singing at home. V'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar lo lefachad, lo lefachad klal. V'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar lo lefachad klal.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you for joining us via YouTube. If you are part of our congregation, we invite you to join us for our Oneg Shabbat via Zoom. We are looking forward to seeing all your beautiful faces as you come on to Zoom for candles, Kiddush, Motzi, and also to schmooze together. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. See you there.